Hey everyone, this is part 2 in a 4-part series looking at psychedelics and technology. Last week I had a look at the sort of current state of affairs of what's happening in America right now with the re-emergence of psychedelics and the second psychedelic renaissance. I didn't even talk about Michael Pollan's book in that, but geez, Michael Pollan's book, I highly recommend it, How to Change Your Mind. It really looks at what's going on right now. This week I'm going to be looking a little more closely about the how, not the what is going on, but how do we meet this? And how, as technologically informed people, do we invite this in a way that is skillful? This being psychedelics. So we're all of us authors of our culture, and I'm a technologically minded author of our culture. So I look at things through a technological lens, and there's really two ways that we have to look at the emergent psychedelic phenomenon as technologists, and if not as technologists, then as aficionados of technology, as speakers of technology. I mean, as Westerners, as Americans, there's no getting out of this. If you're an American, if you grew up in the United States, if you're a human, I mean, technology is part of what you are, but in the United States, and as a Westerner, you just can't separate your life from modern technology. Try as you might, you just can't. You have to have an intelligent, informed, intentional relationship with technology, or else it will rule you, or else you'll spend your life fighting it. There's no other way. We have to embrace it. We have to accept what we are, and what we are is a technologically inclined species. So, what does technology have to do with the reemergence of psychedelics? We have two things we can do. Really, we have three things we can do. The first thing is we can resist it. But let's forget that part. We have two intelligent things we can do. Firstly is creating psychedelically informed technology. And secondly, it's psychedelically collaborative technology. Psychedelically informed technology means we look and study psychedelics as they emerge. And we say, what can we learn from this? And how can this teach us about other aspects of our technological lives? So what the heck is psychedelically informed technology? Well, that's what happens when we look closely at the emergence of psychedelics and we listen to it and we ask it to teach us. I went to this incredible concert just a few weeks ago by this musician. He's called East Forest. And he created for this concert, it was a ceremony, and there were no psychedelics used in the ceremony, but it was clearly a psychedelically informed creation, not in a superficial way, not like, oh, look how trippy this is, oh, but actually this was an artist who had a lot of experience in psychedelic settings and had taken many of the fruits of that to bring into his work as a musician. Now, we could do the same thing as builders of more conventional technology. We can do the same thing as consumers of more conventional technology. We can do the same thing as storytellers. We can do the same things wherever we are in our lives. We have this really interesting living thing emerging through our culture. We can look at it and say, what can you teach me about what I'm doing? Which is different, by the way, from going on an ayahuasca journey and asking the spirit of ayahuasca to teach you something, but to actually look at the emergent psychedelic phenomena and say, what can this teach me? So what do psychedelics teach us? Aside from the messages in the psychedelic itself, what does the phenomenon teach us? I think it teaches us something about ceremony. I think it teaches us something about the value of being together. I think it teaches us something about reverence. So, what happens when we have a reverential relationship with our tools? Or we use our tools in a way that bring us together into ceremony? I think these are some of the threads that have the brightest futures in our culture. And of course, on top of all of that which I'm describing, there is also the taking of the messages we get from the psychedelic experience itself and using that to teach us how to create more efficiently and more effectively. This is actually what I did with my experience, my virtual reality experience, Sound Self, is I took a dose of LSD and I had my first oneness experience, and I let it teach me, and it taught me how to create a different kind of video game. And that's been the story of my career so far. Okay, so what's this other thing, psychedelically collaborative technology? Well, that's what happens when we use our contemporary technology to play directly in the psychedelic arena. Either things that are designed to be experienced in the psychedelic mindset, or things that are designed to serve the psychedelic experience in some way. So we're seeing right now the emergence of psychedelic therapies, ketamine clinics, already legal ketamine clinics. What is a tool? What is a Western tool that can actually support people in going deeper into their journey, in releasing more deeply? What is a tool that we can use to serve people in the integration of their psychedelic wisdom? It's these sorts of questions, and I imagine there's going to be an emergent market for these tools as psychedelics become a deeper and more ingrained part of our culture. Okay, thank you very much for listening. If you have questions, please drop them in the comments. I'll try my best to answer them in the next video. And next time I'm going to be talking about Sound Self. Sound Self is a project that I've been working on for the last several years that is deeply psychedelically informed, and I'll be talking about how I, as an artist, meet the psychedelic happening in my own work. Thanks for tuning in.